double check. There's the links in the Discord. All right.
I got the bot.
Yep. And it says we are live.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Thursday, September 11th, 2025. Two things. This is a special that we're doing. Normally, we are on Thursday evenings from 7 to 9, which we will be live at that time as well. But we're providing you this special to go over the death and information that we currently know of Charlie Kirk, uh, the Turning Point USA Executive Director and CEO. In addition, today marks the 24th anniversary of 9/11, to which I think personally that history is being lost every year it goes by. Our young children are not being taught that in school. What pertain to that, at least here, they're not. I don't know about other parts of the country if they are or they're not, but we don't want to have another 9/11 on our hands. And with that being said, Crazy B, what do you have to say?
I with everything going on, and then right before September 11th with the memorial, and then there was that school shooting yesterday that most people don't know about. I don't even know where to begin. To be quite honest, I don't know where to begin.
It is hi Vanilla.
Hey,
Yeah, they don't.
Vanilla.
Yeah, they don't do Pledge of Allegiance, and somewhere in my future notes for us to cover, it's a short, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. And it was a conspiracy theory by a young African American teenager that said she wondered if the reason they're not teaching cursive in schools anymore is so that they wouldn't be able to read what the original founding documents were.
I've heard that before as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also easier to forge a name that's printed and falsify names that are printed than it is in cursive.
But the schools are not teaching cursive. That's what I'm
I
saying.
know
Yeah,
that's also
yeah,
a thing
yeah.
too. And because we're going to all digital, most of our signatures are digital these days, aren't
Correct.
they?
Yes, they are. Eric was behind a young man. I think I told you the story where he was at the bank, and I'll make it real brief given today's situation, but there was a back and forth between the teller and the young man, and she refused to cash a check because he didn't put his signature on there. And he's like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "It's right here." And he had printed it. And she goes, "That's printed, that's not in cursive." And he's like, "What's cursive?" And she refused to cash the check, and a big fight ensued. So it is, I think,
I
something.
can understand how it's so
Mm-hmm,
complicated.
mm-hmm,
But this is why I taught my kids cursive anyways.
mm-hmm.
Fuck the schools. I taught my kids to at least sign their names. They may not know the full cursive alphabet, but they can at least use cursive
Be
to
able
sign
to
their
write their name
names.
exactly. So that's a minimum. So with that being said, we're gonna, I don't know, there's all kind of feelings going around, from crying to anger to wanting to do something. So I have no idea how the show's going to go today, so bear with us. I
So
didn't
far, so good.
Yeah, I didn't get much sleep. I don't believe Crazy B got much sleep. We are providing you with the information from over the night through, I'd say, maybe 2 o'clock ish. And if anybody has contrary information of what we're about to provide, please drop it in the chat or drop it in the comments, and we will try to address the information that you have. As you know, yesterday things were a little bit crazy as you saw real time uh, what we do trying to get information out to you. You know, crazy B, will you do this? D, will you do that? Uh, and, you know, going out and trying to get resources. We try to at least get two confirmed sources on a subject. We will not put something out that just has one source. And so we try to get a hit on two sources to provide to you. But again, if you hear or have anything that's contrary, please share it with us so that we can provide the correct information. So this afternoon is going to be part one of our special, and this evening we will see how far we get into it. Things may have to carry over till tomorrow. So regular programming has changed.
Just a
So
little today. You get
yes.
us twice instead of once.
Mm-hmm. So
Hey, Blue Rose. Hi, Art.
hi Blue, hi Art. Hey, Jeannie's in there too. She'll be right
Oh,
back.
hey, Jeannie.
Yeah, glad she's there. She's going to share again. Blue, I appreciate everything that you've sent. Art, you've dropped stuff in, and Vanilla, you've dropped stuff in the Discord. You have no idea how much we appreciate that. It can at least be a springboard to get us to where we need to be. And again, we will not put out, we're not showing any pictures right now today. It's inappropriate, and we're just going to go with that. As far as 9/11 goes, we're just going to try to provide a synopsis of the situation. I would really have liked to do a little bit more in depth on it, but given what's going on today, we'll see. I think the death
Yeah,
of Charlie Kirk. Oh,
it's definitely superseding a lot
yeah,
of things
crazy.
right now.
Yeah, crazy bee. Blue is saying the title here is different than on Rumble.
Oh, fuck a duck. Give me a second. And
Uh,
anyone who wants to make a comment about me saying F a duck, I apologize. It's just a saying I've said for, God, over a decade.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of foul language today. I don't know why.
Foul language
Uh,
after I said fuck a duck.
yeah, you like that? How I just eased that right on in. So there'll be foul language today, probably, and I guarantee I'll be crying. So that's a given. And then I'm going to get pissed off after I'm done crying. So that's my mode of operation. I got to get that out at first. Fortunately, the baby's gone, and my man is wild. That's all I'll say about him. He's ooh,
It's not letting me change the title while we're live. I've got to
okay,
wait till we're done.
okay,
But yeah, you'll get the gist of what we're covering today, so it
okay.
is what it is.
All right. So with that being said, what do you have up first, Crazy B?
A fifth of vodka,
I
handful
thought
of
we were.
Xanax,
I thought we were going. Oh yeah. Why don't you mention that new product line you wanted to develop?
a vodka float. You drop some scoops of ice cream into the vodka and then sprinkle it with Xanax for flavor.
Ugh, vodka and ice. That's tough, man. That's rough.
Uh, you got to drink some stuff before you do that one. That's the dessert drink,
Oh,
not
now
the main course.
Art's all bent out of shape. He's sensitive to the feelings of the duck, but he doesn't mind a language. You owe the duck an
Oh,
apology, there, Crazy B.
fuck that duck and its feelings.
Fudge.
Oh God. Yeah,
That
you can
was
tell I've
good.
had one of those weeks
Yeah.
that it's just been kind of chaotic. That's
Yes.
an interesting combination.
I'm not quite sure I would even be down for trying that. I,
I
uh,
would,
I don't know
especially
about
with this
that.
week. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I would.
I
I don't
don't.
care if I puke afterwards because dairy and vodka don't mix. I
Yeah.
would totally go for it right now.
Maybe it depends on the ice cream flavor. I don't
If
know.
you do
Like,
straight vodka and then you do like that death by chocolate ice cream,
no, that's guaranteed throwing up. Maybe, maybe a pineapple ice cream that might work, or orange sherbet, something like that might.
pistachio might go good.
Ugh. No, Jeannie, you didn't miss much. We were just getting started, honey.
Yeah. Hence the vodka Xanax float.
Ugh, ugh.
Hey, once you're drunk enough, you ain't gonna care about the flavor.
This is
I always
true.
say everything tastes the same after enough shots.
This is
Butter
true. It does.
pecan and whiskey. Now, butter pecan and whiskey, I could go on board with that one. Oh,
Yeah,
I could get on board with butter pecan and whiskey.
yeah. Butter pecans, my favorite ice cream, followed by I don't know what, mint chocolate chip, perhaps.
Mm, yeah, yeah, I could see that working, or just straight up vanilla. We'll throw vanilla pie in it.
I think that might
Look
taste.
up
Uh,
look up the flying grasshopper. Dairy and vodka are fine. Oh,
oh, I know.
really?
Yeah,
I am gonna have to look that up and try
I
it.
I can remember. I don't know if it was called a flying grasshopper, but I can remember my mom drinking grasshopper. It was called a grasshopper, and it had some type of. I can remember it being a green color like a grasshopper, but I don't know what alcohol was in it. Perhaps it was called the flying grasshopper. We'll have to look.
Hmm. Now, I'm all for all kinds of alcohol, and I have stupidly drank some stuff I should have never drank in circumstances I should not have been in. And unfortunately, I never get blackout drunk, so I remember every fucking thing. It
Hmm,
sucked. It wasn't worth it. And you know what's worse is I've never even had a hangover as a punishment.
neither have I. I've never had a hangover.
No
Fortunately,
matter how much I drink, no hangover. No matter how much I drink, I cannot get passed out, blackout drunk.
yep.
I'm disappointed in my liver. I have never been able to overload it. The grasshopper is without vodka. The flying grasshopper is with vodka. Okay, that's cool to know.
My mother changed from vodka to straight up whiskey. Yeah, whiskey
Hmm.
and Pepsi. Yep.
I did that when I went to school one time, and the teachers just looked at me and didn't do a damn thing about it. It was a 50-50 drink
So you were
in a
drinking
20-ounce bottle.
before school? You went to school.
No, with it in my bottle, went to school, was on a field trip. Yes, 50-50 split.
Ugh.
Yeah, open that bottle. The whole bus smelled.
I don't even. I'm disappointed. I don't even know what to say. Don't even know
I
what
told
to.
you, I have done some really stupid things in some really bad places at really bad times. I'm not joking. Hey, JJ, glad to see you.
Hey JJ, how you doing? Yeah,
Yes,
we'd
I
be
did, Blue
happy. Yeah,
Rose.
we'd be
I
happy
did.
for a raid if possible. Oops. Oh,
Oh, God. Okay,
hold
we
on.
need to
I
get
accident.
started.
There we go. I'm back. I accidentally shut my screen off.
I was gonna say we should probably get started instead of talking about my horrible teenage behavior that nobody gave a fuck about, including my own parents who had no clue it was happening. And thank God neither of them listened to this podcast. So I'm good.
That you know of.
I could see my dad driving all the way down here with a belt coming at me
Uh huh.
for something I did as a teenager. Yeah. Yep. I totally could see it. So,
Okay,
all
so
right,
what do
let
we
me.
got up first? So we're doing could you zoom in on that just a tad?
That's too much of a tad. There's a good
There you
tad.
go. So the U.S. marks the 24th anniversary of 9/11 terror attacks. It's September 11th,
That means
2025.
my nephew's gonna be 2020. My nephew's gonna be 24 this year, and turns out he may be becoming a dad soon too. We're not sure
Oh,
on that as a
wow.
full.
That's
So
cool.
that's still in question. I guess we're waiting for the news on whether that's a yay or nay.
There you go. Americans are marking 24 years since the September 11th, 2001 attacks with solemn ceremonies, volunteer work, and other tributes honoring the victims. Many loved ones of nearly 3,000 people killed will join dignitaries and politicians at commemorations Thursday in New York, at the Pentagon, and at Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Others choose to mark the day at more intimate gatherings. James Lynch, who lost his father, Robert Lynch, during the World Trade Center attack, said he and his family will attend a ceremony near their hometown in New Jersey before spending the day at the beach.
Oh,
It,
really?
of
Sorry.
course,
Go ahead.
it's one of those things where any kind of grief, I don't think it ever goes away, Lynch said as he, his partner, and his mother joined thousands of volunteers preparing meals for the needy at a 9/11 charity event in Manhattan the day before the anniversary. Finding the joy in that grief, I think, has been a huge part of my growth with this, he said. The remembrance are being held during a time of increased political tensions. The 9/11 anniversary, often promoted as a day of national unity, comes a day after conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking in a college in Utah. The reading of names and moments of silence. Kirk's killing is expected to prompt additional security measures around the 9/11 anniversary ceremony at the World Trade Center site in New York, authorities said. At Ground Zero in Lower Manhattan, the names of the attack victims will be read aloud by family and loved ones in a ceremony attended by Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife, Second Lady Usha Vance. Moments of silence will mark the exact times when hijacked planes struck the World Trade Center's iconic towers, as well as when the skyscrapers fell.
Oh, hold on. I was trying to pull my hair back.
At
There
the,
we go.
Pentagon, At the Pentagon in Virginia, the 184 service members and civilians killed when hijackers steered a jetliner into the headquarters of the U.S. military will be honored. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump will attend the service before heading to the Bronx for a baseball game between the New York Yankees and Detroit Tigers Thursday evening. And in a rural field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, a similar ceremony marked by moments of silence, the reading of names, and the laying of wreaths will honor the victims of Flight 93, the hijacked plane that crashed after crew members and passengers tried to storm the cockpit. That service will be attended by Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins. Like Lynch, people across the country are also marking the 9/11 anniversary with service projects and charity works as part of a national day of service. Volunteers will be taking part in food and clothing drives, park and neighborhood cleanups, blood banks, and other community events.
Oh, sorry. My hands.
Reverb- Reverberations from attacks persist. In all, the attacks by Al Qaeda militants killed 2,977 people, including many financial workers at the World Trade Center and firefighters and police officers who had rushed to the burning buildings trying to save lives. The attacks reverberated globally and altered the course of U.S. policy, both domestically and overseas. It led to the global war on terrorism and the U.S. led invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq and related conflicts that killed hundreds of thousands of troops and civilians. While the hijackers died in the attacks, the U.S. government has struggled to conclude its long running legal case against the man accused of masterminding the plot, Khalil Sheikh Mohammed. The former Al Qaeda leader was arrested in Pakistan in 2003 and later taken to a U.S. military base at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, but has never received a trial. The anniversary ceremony in New York was taking place at the National September 11th Memorial and Museum, where two memorial poles ringed by waterfalls and parapets inscribed with the names of the dead marked the spots where the Twin Towers once stood. The Trump administration has been contemplating ways that the federal government might take control of the Memorial Plaza and its underground museum, which are now run by a public charity currently chaired by former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, a frequent Trump critic. Trump has spoken of possibly making the site a national monument. In the years since the attacks, the U.S. government has spent billions of dollars providing health care and compensation to tens of thousands of people who were exposed to the toxic dust that billowed over parts of Manhattan when the Twin Towers collapsed. More than 140,000 people are still enrolled in monitoring programs intended to identify those with health conditions that could potentially be linked to hazardous materials in the area, in the soot.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for that one.
hmm And
Yeah.
that really is just a brief outline of what's being planned for today. I I would hope that next year, at marking of the 25th anniversary, that the
We
kids
can
in the
make
school.
it more central and focused on that.
Yes, yes, and I hope that the children in the school systems are at least exposed to this information and what happened and why it happened.
Um, I know a couple years ago, my niece, the school was educating on it. They never specified which terror group in the teaching. And I explained the terror group and why, what we believe they are doing and did this and why. I had to do that teaching because the school couldn't be, responsible and all.
Right. Can you still hear me, Crazy B?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Okay, so I think maybe Chrome might be the answer because that worked out well, what
Mhm.
just happened. Okay. Good afternoon, Cannabis.
Oh,
And
hey,
you're right.
cannabis. I'm sorry.
Hey, JJ. Oh, yeah, and that's going to be the 250th for
2.5
Independence Day.
centuries we've been
Yeah.
around.
Wow.
Woohoo! That's a year to party. That 4th of July, I'm gonna make sure I have something. Not that it's gonna do me any good, but I'm still gonna have a few drinks.
Yeah, that's going to be, hmm,
Interesting.
yes,
But
very interesting.
I don't think enough people realize what it means to be an American, what it
I
means to
don't
us as
either.
an individual. No
No.
one has a set description. We've talked about this before. What does it actually mean to be an American? And
Mhm.
again, because everybody's an individual, they have their own versions. And, I think we need to start unifying our people instead of dividing. And a lot of people were saying this whole thing with Charlie Kirk was an attempt to start another civil war.
Right. And we'll go through that. We have,
Yes.
yes, um, you made a comment there. It was somebody made replied back in the chat. Well, it'll come back. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Um,
no, if you need me to scroll up, I can.
no, no, it'll come back. I can't remember. Uh,
Okay.
it was something that you said that sparked a, uh, a thought there. That's okay. Um, so that's where we're at on the 9/11, and I wish we could have done a little bit more here. However, we have more pressing business
Actually,
to
we
get
do
to.
have one article for 9/11.
Yes. Okay, one
And
more.
cannabis,
Yeah.
thank you for your service. Much
Thank you,
appreciated.
cannabis. We
Because a
appreciate
year and
it.
a half later, he
Hmm.
helped with the initial invasion in Iraq.
Wow.
March of 2023, March of 2003.
Yeah.
A year
Can you?
before my kid was born.
Wow. Can you zoom in on that one too, Crazy B? I forgot
I
about
zoomed
this one.
into 125,
Okay.
but I can zoom in a little
There you
further.
go. That's good.
Okay.
So, this was an analysis by ABC News on how the threats have evolved since the 9/11 attacks. And I thought it was important to bring up uh, pretty much because of the internet, social media, and AI have provided terrorists with a new toolbox. And when you think about the ability in the ways that we can communicate, in the way that uh, bombs and things can be made today, it's a whole different ball game, I think, than it was 24, soon to be 25 years ago,
Mhm.
than it is today. Osama bin Laden had made targeting the United States a top priority of his Al Qaeda terrorist organization. Al Qaeda translates from Arabic as the base, a base that bin Laden hoped to use to influence Muslims around the world to oppose Western influences and states and to establish fundamentalist Islamic regimes. Bin Laden's motives were rooted in his extremist interpretation of Islamic theology, resentment over U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East, and a desire to overthrow the existing world order. The base was so called due to it being a centralized hierarch. Here we go already. Higher. Go ahead.
Hierarchical.
Thank you, because my mouth is not working. I need a drink, and I don't mean of iced tea. Organization that provided funding, training, and logistical support to terrorism worldwide, including for the so called Plains Operation of September 11th, 2001.
God, I remember this. I
That's
just got back from my grandfather's funeral. It was
why.
a double whammy day too.
In order to embolden and support his organization, bin Laden often videotaped himself with messages aimed at his target audience, established training centers in Afghanistan, had an expansive funding network that included wealthy individuals, couriers, mosques, and other complex ways to raise funds. Bin Laden, through the Al Qaeda terrorist organization, targeted the United States for nearly a decade before the 9/11 attacks in 2001, utilizing this large and expansive infrastructure. While Al Qaeda's 1998 attacks against U.S. embassies in Africa and the 2000 attack against the U.S. Navy guided missile destroyer, destroyer USS Cole were successful, the organization's largest operation was the September 11th, 2001 attacks against the World Trade Center in New York City, the Pentagon, and the thwarted attack on Washington, D.C., that ended with the crash of the United Airlines Flight 93 in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, all of which included recruiting and training the 19 terrorist operatives, funding their travel and expenses and time. It took bin Laden almost 2 years to put together the resources and training necessary for those attacks 24 years ago, something that today could be done almost instantly. Bin Laden and the 9/11 attacks lacked something that present day terrorists, criminals, and violent extremists have ready access to the internet and oh my gosh, internet, and specifically the dark web. After the 9/11 attacks, as the United States was ramping up to attack Al Qaeda, the base and affiliate organizations began moving to a more decentralized and incentivized form of terrorism and violence.
Oh,
Wow, I
there
remember
we are.
those pictures.
I
Terrorists, yeah, with the when they came down and all the debris and dust and everything. Terrorists expanded their use of the internet for a wide range of activities, including planning attacks, radicalization and recruitment, propaganda, dissemination, and fundraising. While the internet facilitates covert planning through tools like encrypted messages, it also serves as a platform for psychological warfare, spreading disinformation and images to incite fear. This online presence includes social media platforms used for propaganda, communication, and recruitment, creating a challenge for governments and platforms alike to manage the spread of extremist content in hopes of preventing potential violence. In a 2004 study, the United States Institute of Peace said that hundreds of terrorist groups had migrated online, utilizing a tool meant for better communication for often nefarious purposes. Nearly 20 years later, a 2022 study titled Terrorism and the Internet: How Dangerous is Online Radicalization highlighted how online radicalization had become a clear threat that can metastasize in dark corners, often unnoticed. The main use
whoops,
of
there
the
it is.
yeah, the main use of the internet by these terrorist groups, incentivizing and radicalizing supporters and stoking fear with propaganda, is something bin Laden would have had to do with videotapes played by the news. Likewise, the internet has made fundraising much easier with the use of online payment methods, which are easy to set up and difficult to trace. And now, with the advent of generative artificial intelligence, AI, terrorists have yet another tool at their disposal. According to a U.S. House of Representatives Committee on Homeland Security hearing background advisory earlier this year, Gen AI is a rapidly emerging technology that can produce numerous kinds of content, such as text, images, or audio, when prompted by a user. Foreign terrorist organizations are actively seeking ways to exploit Gen AI to support a variety of violent extremist tactics, techniques, and procedures, such as using AI powered chat boxes to interact with potential recruits.
I
Oh
remember that
my.
one.
When that first happened, they ended up not showing it, but with the planes going in, and they ended up taking
Hmm.
it off. But I was in town at a meeting when this happened, and I watched as people were jumping out of the building. It was
Yep.
horrific. It was absolutely horrific.
I caught all of it. Actually, I was watching the news as the plane hit. I saw it
Hmm.
before the newscasters
Yep.
saw it. I
Yeah, because
told my dad, I'm
they
like,
couldn't
dude,
believe,
a
they were
plane
like,
just hit that.
Yeah, they couldn't believe that a plane hit it. They were like,
Yeah.
they thought initially a bomb went off or something.
And my dad's like, oh, it was just some Yahoo doesn't know what they're doing. And then
Right,
the second one hit. I'm like, really? What do you say now? And he's like, okay, yeah, this is bad.
right.
And and it kept going from there. I mean, this is all before between coming home from my grandfather's memorial service, his funeral, to getting ready for school. I stopped home to get some things that I needed for school, and I actually had to drive past my school to get home and then go back to the school. It was freaking insane to see that on the news. I was almost late for school because of it.
We'll, Crazy Bee, we can stop here and we'll have this
Okay.
because we have so much to cover. It's already 3:30.
Oh, yeah, we
This
do
will
need to
be,
cover
yeah,
more.
this will be in the link listed below, but if you get a chance, take a look at it. I think the biggest takeaway on this article is, as I just read, the with AI in particular now becoming more and more powerful than it is, and social media and the way that disinformation, misinformation, whatever information you want to call it, can be
Yeah.
spread. It's it's a little bit on the scary side. You know exactly what can happen. What do you believe? What don't you believe? You know, people turn on the TV and automatically, boom. You know, we have the news stations reporting. Here it is. Here's the facts, and
Yep.
you know that may not be the case. And so, how do you go about finding uh, the right information? And I listened to a content creator last night that said, and this was in response to Charlie Kirk, was with the mainstream media doing and making the comments that they are saying he is a extremist, etc. That
I never
it's
saw him as an extremist.
yes, that it's no wonder why people aren't seeking out social media content creators, but you have to be careful of them as well. So as I said earlier in the broadcast, if you see something, I always recommend trying to go out and get at least two or three other sources that you can get a confirmation on. And even those may or may not be right in the end, but at least just don't go by the first thing that you hear.
Yep.
What do you have to say about that,
I
Crazy Bee?
absolutely agree. I agree. Don't trust the initial content. If they use strong words that are negative about a person who just went through a traumatic thing, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they can say, we didn't agree with this person, but this is absolutely horrific that this happened. I don't see why these media agencies think this shit's okay.
Well, the other thing too that we found was a lot of clickbait, tremendous
Uh-huh.
amounts of clickbait. And unless you read through or listen to an entire video, and some of these videos that are out there are hours long, and you find yourself in there and you're like, you're waiting. Like, for example, we had a information received that they had the name of who this person was, and it nowhere is the name to be found. So it was truly a clickbait type of thing.
Mhm.
Did you want to read that, Crazy Bee?
Read
If you-
what?
I
Oh,
don't.
the post
Yeah.
from JJ.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I was working as a circuit design engineer at AT&T, and I had new circuits for multiple clients on 9/11. Among the well-known is two French words. I am not as fluent in French as I used to be, but I believe
Deloitte.
it's Deloitte
Yeah,
and
Deloitte and
Touche.
Yeah, Deloitte and Touche. I actually
Deloitte and
use
Touche.
Touche.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually use them for some HR um, compensation for the CEO. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Art says everybody in public life is called an extremist by both sides. That's part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Yeah, we're gonna see a video that will play that we can talk about that a little bit. But
That's
I
actually what we have up right now
I
is
thought
to cover
no, I thought
next.
we had the school thing.
Oh no, that is right. That is after this. That's
Okay.
right. This is the school. Yes, this is another tragic event that happened almost at the within an hour. I think it was an hour before or hour after Charlie Kirk got shot. Absolutely is being missed. and I'm glad Dee found this because I had no blazing clue.
Oh,
Oh,
but
JJ says, "Wow, Dee, we are all connected at some degree." So,
yes,
yeah,
we are.
got products
Yep.
JJ designed.
There you go.
Freaking amazing.
It is. I mean, everybody, what is it? Six degrees of separation. If you talk to
Yeah,
somebody, if you talk to somebody long enough, you'll find out that there's a connection.
yep. So, but let's listen to this video cuz it's another heartbreaking thing that is completely being missed. And again, I don't want to downplay 9/11 or Charlie Kirk, but this shit happened yesterday
Right
as
at.
well.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So let's take a listen and see what they got to add. This happened in Colorado.
Michaels now. She's been gauging the response from folks in Washington to all this, Ashley.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I've covered many of those school shootings Jeremy was just referencing, and we're always getting reaction in the aftermath. News of today's shooting has reached Capitol Hill. We've already heard from all of Colorado's congressional delegation. All of them say they're shocked. All of them say they're praying for the community, and they're sad. I do want to get started with Colorado Democratic Congresswoman Brittany Pedersen. Evergreen falls within her district. She just released a video message on social media a few minutes ago. Here's what she has to say.
I know our state and our community are shocked and terrified with what is happening to the students who are fighting for their lives in the hospital, who are at school, dropped off with a place that they should feel safe, and unfortunately faced a mass shooting. I can only imagine what the parents are going through, what these students just went through, and the staff at the school, and want you to know that we are here to support you in any way that we can be. I am a mom of a 5-year-old and a 7-month-old, and I know every parent felt the shock and terror seeing those headlines of what was happening and thinking about if that was their kid, their school. We have to do better as leaders to address this epidemic, and we are here to support you every step of the way as we recover from this tragedy.
And we're also hearing from many of our other congressional delegates. Republican Congressman Jeff Hurd, he wrote on social media, as a father of 5, this breaks my heart. No child should ever fear for their safety at school. He also asked for prayers for students, staff, and first responders. And then let's get to the statement from Democratic Congressman Jason Crow. He took a different tone. He said, what a terrible day. Schools should not be shooting ranges. Excuse me, I misspoke. Schools should not be shooting ranges, he said. If thoughts and prayers could fix this, we'd be the safest country in the world. I'm a legislator, and there are laws we can and must pass to protect our families. Also want to get to Republican.
I want to point out that man is an asshole.
Yep.
If prayers could fix, mother.
It's like that TikTok chick from the other day, right? With
Pointing out the
the
idiots that are like, "Oh,
transgender
where
and
was your
the
prayers? Where was
yeah.
your God at that time?"
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Just reminds me of her. But remember,
That just.
that's the
I'm
mindset.
sorry.
Yeah, that's the mindset of a majority of people.
Actually, I don't think it's really truly a majority. I think there are some bad actors and a lot of bots. I believe there are a lot of bots circulating
Mm,
this. Because you think the majority of the population, because the population's been decreasing, is like the millennials and older. A good chunk, a half millennials are absolutely on the right way, or at least center. Then you look at most of Gen X is not for this liberal nonsense. And then you go back even further to the boomers, and even more are conservative than they
mm,
are going to tolerate the liberals. So if you think about it, it is not the majority of the population who thinks this way. It is a minority that is very loud and very fucking annoying.
mm. I don't know. I hear too
I
much.
know it doesn't seem like it because the internet amplifies the bullshit to divide us. But I really truly believe that it is just an illusion. It is not factual when when it looks like that. This
When I,
person is a moron. And
well,
of
when
course, our
they're what
mainstream
we're
media
gonna
is going
hear,
to promote it.
what we're gonna hear is they're gonna bring up, they're gonna list every single school shooting, everything that's happened, and over the years, and that
A
is
funny
what
thing about most of those over the years, I don't recall a single Republican being on that list. And obviously, the Democrats lost. So most of this country is Republican because they lost the election.
yeah, uh-huh. But the midterms are coming, and so
Let's
is
see
the
how they
20,
vote locally.
right,
Maybe they
and
learned a lesson.
so is 2028. And I told you that's what I'm worried about, because
Hmm.
and they sure as hell are not getting anything done right now, in my opinion. I don't know
Yeah,
what they're doing, but I truly don't know what they're doing.
I understand. I
But
really do.
this is I believe two people were shot, and several others were uh, taken
I
to the
think they cover
hospital.
that in the last
Yeah.
minute or almost
Okay.
minute of
Go
the
ahead.
video.
Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert with just a brief post. It says Charlie Kirk, Evergreen High School, Colorado. Then she referenced a passage from the Bible. Her post, of course, linking the shooting here to another shooting in Utah that happened around the same time this afternoon involving a conservative influencer who was scheduled to be here in Colorado for an event later on this week. Now, we've heard from many other of our local leaders on both sides of the political aisle, not only the ones who work in Washington, D.C., but also the ones who work right here in Colorado's capital. It's clear that what happened in Evergreen will be part of the political conversation going forward, but it's unclear at this point what that conversation will be like. Ashley Michaels, Fox 31.
Yeah, there's that.
Yep.
I'm not okay with it. I can't stress it enough. This is pure insanity in one day and the day before September 11th. Like,
Mm-hmm.
y'all really picked
And
a bad day to do these stupid things because all you're doing is pushing more people to unite together against
right.
the radicals.
And I
The
think
sane
that
left is no longer wanting to tolerate the radical left.
I hope that's true. The I would say at this point, at one time I wasn't really crazy about the idea, but I think
Mm-hmm.
probably going into schools there should be just like it is when I go to the emergency room. Everybody goes in one door, and you got to go through a metal detector. Uh, if something's on you, the officer might, and there is an armed police officer. And I think that we hear all this BS. The children can't see police. The children can't see a gun. The children this, the children that. Well, I've
If they
made
don't know what a gun is and you don't teach them how to use it
right,
properly, they will use it for the wrong reasons.
right, and
My children were taught how to do that
right,
properly.
and there's no reason why a child cannot. Remember back in the day, we told our children, if something happens, if something bad happens to you, if somebody hurts you, somebody grabs you, you're kidnapped, whatever, what do? You go and you find a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, it's
Now,
stay away. They're bad, they're
yep,
bad.
that's one of my problems with it.
Mm-hmm.
Is too many people are. That's probably why so many kids are going missing. They don't know where to go to get help.
Right.
It's
So,
driving me
yeah.
nuts.
So I think that they should have to go perhaps through a metal detector and have a armed police officer. One note, one
Yes.
way in, one way out. You know, if it's a huge school that has thousands of kids, then maybe it's two 2 ways in, 2 ways out, and armed police both. I'm down for that at this point. If that's going to be the
Yeah.
only way to mitigate some of the things that happen, then so be it. I mean, it would prevent maybe possibly some of the knife episodes that have gone on.
Hell, I remember even back in the 90s when I was in school, kids would bring their hunting rifles to school because they were going hunting right after. And so they had them in their truck and
Mm-hmm.
stayed in the truck locked up or in the car. And after school, they would go straight to wherever their deer blinds were
Mm-hmm.
or their turkey, wherever they're going for turkeys or whatever it is that time of year. It was not unheard of.
Yep.
Like, how does this, like, I mean, again, no one brought the guns into the school.
Right.
They just kept them locked up in their cars and nobody messed with it. But then again, this was a very small country school that had maybe 1,000 students for all 12 grades. I mean, it was, yeah. Like, when I say small school, I mean small school. I'm not even joking.
Yeah,
Some of
EJ
these teachers were
graduated with
teaching
almost
freshmen and
800 in his.
sophomores.
Yeah, EJ graduated with almost 800 in his class. So that's a bit.
Yeah, my class had
Yeah.
maybe 100, maybe a
Wow.
100. That's why I said it was about 1,000 students for all 12 grades combined.
Hmm.
That's a small school. Like, I knew all of my classmates by name and sight.
Right.
I knew every single kid in that school that was in my grade and most of the ones from the grade above or below.
Right.
It was because that's just how small the freaking school was. It's like, and so again, I point out we never had a problem. Our school, again, we weren't supposed to bring knives, but I mean, if you had one, as long as you weren't doing anything stupid, they didn't really say or do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
We knew better. Um, JJ says my high school class size was 63.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Cannabis graduated 75 out of 76. There's two good things about, there's a good thing and a bad thing about small schools. One, you know everyone. Two, if you're hated, it's by everyone.
There you go.
Been there, done that.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
O-
Anyways, we gotta
Okay.
get to the next topic.
Okay.
Here
So
we
then
are.
this is do you want to read this one, Crazy Bee? I need to go get something to drink. Are you okay with that?
I should be able to. I got my glasses on today.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm going to go grab a drink.
All right, let me enlarge this sucker because it is small. I see the eye doctor on the 29th. So hunt for killer, manhunt after Trump ally Charlie Kirk, 31, is assassinated with shot through neck. He was not shot through the neck. He was shot in the neck. The bullet did not come out the other side. Hence, it is shot in the neck, not through the neck. But nitpicking aside, as photos show, sniper on roof. We're not going to watch. How do I close this? Right there.
Yeah, tell
Nope,
them
I
we're not
refuse.
watching any videos, Crazy Bee.
Yeah, we will not play any of the graphic videos. I Oh, JJ says make a stiff drink, D. D. Not, why did I say D? D.
Because
I
you want
stuttered.
you want Nene drunk too, right?
Yeah, why not? We could have a drunken day. A massive police hunt. This is an X and Facebook post that there's a graphic video of him getting shot. After seeing it myself, I will not encourage anyone to watch it, especially if you have the inability to handle that kind of footage. Just it's best to not watch the graphic one. As you can see, there's a person up on the roof over there. Um, yeah, he's laying down on the roof, black on a black roof. Oh, bloody. That's not good. People ran. A person of interest was taken into custody but later released, according to FBI Director Kash Patel. The shooter is still at large, and officials are asking for any information that could lead to their capture. Heavily armed police are now going door to door as they search for the killer, who is described as wearing dark clothes and carrying a long gun. Except he ditched the. Oh no, they said they found the ammo left, but the gun itself was taken with them. Um, Officials described the shooting as a targeted political assassination and said only one shot was fired. Kirk, an outspoken commentator who frequently appeared on Fox News, was best known for co-founding Turning Point USA, a conservative nonprofit organization aimed at organizing students. Donald Trump posted a video message on Truth Social saying he was filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk, adding it was a dark moment for America. That is an understatement, my man. Trump earlier announced Kirk's death in a separate Truth Social post, writing, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie." And that is so true, in my personal opinion, from watching him over the years. Kirk is survived by his wife, Erica, and their two young children. The pro gun activist was speaking about shootings in the moments before he was murdered at the university with a single gunshot. But I bet he would still support Second Amendment rights to this day and going forward. I swear he would not support gun control over this. Just seconds after he paused during a student Q&A at the school, the shot was heard ringing out in horrifying footage of the shooting. Blood was seen gushing from his neck, and he fell off of his chair as bystanders screamed, "Get down, get down." Um, he was rushed to the hospital in critical condition and was pronounced dead hours later. Just minutes before the reports rang out, Kirk's social media account shared videos and pictures of the activist smiling as he met students. He was speaking about mass killings committed by transgender Americans and was asked how many mass shootings had happened in the U.S. in the past 10 years. Hold on one second. I got to swap out my earbud. It's doing the beepy thing. Uh, JJ, I love you responding to our Rumble bot about our YouTube channel, but some people are not comfortable with Rumble not allowing them to comment and stuff unless they are a member. Um, and they put in more information and stuff like that. I believe it was on Rumble that does that because YouTube will let you post whether you're confirmed or not. So we do still post to YouTube for that purpose. Um, Back to this. Kirk was beginning to answer by asking, counting or not counting gang violence when he was hit. They have a full on timeline here. Um, Former Representative Chavez, a
Chavis.
Republican.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Jason Chavis from
Okay.
he worked for Fox previously. He was a congressman.
Okay. That's what I said. Representative, former
Yeah,
representative.
former. Yeah.
Um, well, I could skip the rest of that paragraph because you covered it. Working at
Sorry.
Fox News, I had less to read. I was watching Charlie Kirk. He said, "I can't say that I saw blood. I can't say I saw him get hit, but I did see him fall immediately backwards into his left." Um, the politician continued, "As soon as the shot went out, everybody hit the deck and everybody started scattering and yelling and screaming, as you might imagine." He said he went from watching Kirk speaking to looking over to check if his loved ones were safe. Um,
Now,
uh,
Charlie, yeah, just a side note. Fox hired Charlie Kirk to work for him in 2012. So uh, he started his political career after he did his first semester, I believe. First semester or first year? I think first semester of college. And kind of
Yeah, he
said
ended up
this,
dropping out of college.
yes, ma'am. And so Fox News ended up hiring him. So here's a man that was proof that you did not need a college degree in
Hmm.
order to create a billions of dollar company.
I want to address a quick comment.
Okay.
Um, Cannabis, I'm going to be dropping the link in the description to that Tom McDonald music video, because we don't want to take a risk of getting hit with a copyright, because even if he
Yeah.
doesn't enforce copyrights on his music, YouTube might, and we don't want to take that risk. So
Yeah.
I will be posting the link at the very top of our description when the show is done, and I will post it on tonight's show as well.
Yeah. YouTube is really starting to come after content creators, even if we did it as a reaction. Uh,
Or with permission from the person who
exact.
made the music. They
That's
will
right.
still come at. There was
Right.
someone who got a copyright for playing their own music on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. Like, they were critiquing their own music and got a copyright strike. How does that make sense? And they fought YouTube. They tried to fight them at least, and they still couldn't win. It's like, this is my song. And YouTube's like, we don't give it. We don't care. No. Tell me how that works. But so yeah, that link will be in the description. Um oh, okay. Lack of security. Wait, they claimed there was a lack of security there?
At the
Huh.
event,
Yeah,
yes, there was.
really? I thought they
Yes.
would have more security.
Nope. He had his own, and it'll probably say it briefly, but I've been through all this. He always traveled with his own security, which was minimal. It was usually the guys that you saw to his side or
To
in the
keep the
front of him.
crowd, the basic
Correct, to keep
bodyguards.
them away. Very minimal police protection was there. Even
Makes you
though,
wonder if it was on purpose.
even though there were 1,000 signatures for a petition requesting the administrators to not have him speak on campus. That should have been a red flag right then and there.
Yeah,
And I
I
mean, and if
agree.
they're going to come out and call people, I don't care what side of the political aisle they're on, far right, far left, center, extremist, radicals, whatever, then I think that there needs to be additional security. It's
Mhm.
either paid for by the school or it's paid for perhaps by the speaker.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
go
agree.
ahead. Yeah,
Something
why
needed to
don't you
be
go
done.
ahead and read it, Crazy B?
Okay. So one witness, Tyler McGettigan, oh my God, said he was shocked about how little security there was at an outdoor event, especially such a large crowd, as after such a large crowd had amassed. He said that no one even checked the ticket that he brought when he walked up to the amphitheater where Kirk was speaking. Wow, that's bad.
Yeah,
I was
yeah, I
Go
saw
ahead.
reports that said there weren't even tickets, that you just got to show up. There was no check-in, there was nothing.
That's what he goes on to say here. He's like, I was expecting when I got there that I'd have to pass through some kind of security, but that wasn't a thing. No one checked a barcode or a QR code. There was no checkpoint to get in. It was literally anyone could walk in if they wanted. Yeah. I mean, that's not a hard shot.
That makes
if
you
you've
go,
got the
huh,
right scope.
doesn't it?
Yeah,
Very.
if you've
So
got the
what?
right scope, you're going to
Wait.
make that shot.
Okay, doesn't it? Isn't it reminiscent of Trump's attempts?
Yeah.
Remember, there was
Mhm.
I think it was a gentleman and his wife said that they were told how they could move over to the other line and they got in and they really didn't check tickets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, buddy. Unidentified suspect. One person described initially as a suspect and person of interest, blah, blah, blah. We know that. Blah, blah, blah. We know that. We've read it so many times.
Okay,
The
my
shots were,
question about him though is why did they hold him for obstruction of justice?
I
Obstruction.
know. Yeah, I'm still waiting to find out exactly what was the obstruction.
So I don't, well, personally, I don't care what he was obstructing, right? If they told him to move on, grab whatever it was, maybe I can't, I don't know, maybe he resisted arrest. I don't know, but again, here we go with the respect for authority, perhaps isn't the right word, but there is something to be said for, and respect might not be the right word. So, what word would I be looking at for authority? That obey authority, perhaps? You know what I mean? When you're given an
Mhm.
order by a police officer, you're supposed
You
to
do it.
obey that order, right? And then if
Mhm.
you feel your rights were violated, then you can take that and uh, be sued. They can sue you later on in court. And for example, you and I talked about this earlier today. You know, there's a girl that, a woman that has her own YouTube channel. If you haven't checked her out, it's called Liberty Hangout. That her name is Caitlin Bennett. And I often watched her. She's a small, smaller size woman, petite. Uh, she now has is married with two children, and she goes on the street and does what Charlie Kirk says and gives that pushback. And she's gotten a
Mhm.
lot of pushback. Um, and she was at a farmer's market recently. Now, she just won a case against Lakewood Police Department. So she's at this other farmer's market when the police tell her to leave. And here it's a public place, it's a public venue, blah, blah. They didn't want to hear anything that she had to say. They gave her a trespass, which I had never heard of. We don't do that here. You don't get a ticket of trespass. But she got a ticket of trespass, which means she is never, ever, ever allowed to be in that area again for anything. There's a water park there, and she cannot bring her children to go there to the water park, or they will arrest her. And she said that if
Mhm.
it wouldn't have been for her two kids, she would have been arrested, but she can't be away from them because they're so young.
Yeah.
So she did what the police officer said. They told her, go over there. She went over there and she tried to conduct interviews. Now she did give them some pushback, but ultimately, they literally walked her out of the farmer's market. But what would you call that, Crazy Bee? Is that respect? Is that obey? What word are we looking at?
Comply. I think comply is a
Okay,
very
I
good
like
word.
that. Comply with a police officer's order.
Mhm.
I can go for that. I don't know, what do
Yep.
people in the chat think? Uh, comply, obey, respect. Again, even with there's still that lack of, look at what the firefighters go through, the paramedics. I don't know about your area. The paramedics will not come to my home without police coming here first. And
In
that's
my area, they will because we're in the middle of nowhere and no
okay.
one's that stupid in our town.
And that's because of all the cases of the paramedics don't know what they're walking into, perhaps a domestic violence situation, perhaps a kidnapping or somebody with a gun. And so police come first, make sure the
Mhm.
scene is copacetic, and then the paramedics are permitted to come into the house. And no,
Yeah.
I've never had the police here for Eric and I fighting, at least not yet.
Well,
So
fingers crossed that they never have to.
uh-huh. But it's a weird, I think the whole lack of authority, and I call it respect for authority, for our police, our firefighters, paramedics, all of that, that is not being instilled in the youth today.
Mhm.
I don't see it.
And again, I've done it. I absolutely instilled this into my kids.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter still fought it, but every kid's different. I think I finally got through to her. I hope. But in most cases, it is on the parents to teach this. We were taught in school to trust the police and the
Right,
firefighters and the
right.
EMTs. Now everyone says anyone in a uniform bad.
Yep. Doesn't matter who they are, including service members,
Yes.
from the service, from the
Mhm.
military. There's just a total lack of respect. I don't like it at
Well,
all.
because they're not fully understanding what it means, unless they've had a family who was a police officer, firefighter, EMT, or military service. They're not going to know what any of it
Right,
means because they're not taught anymore. I was
right.
taught the different uniforms and what they mean, the difference between a
Yep.
cop and a firefighter and an EMT and a military
Mm-hmm.
service. And then
Exactly.
the various branches of the military service, what their uniforms are.
Exactly. Exactly.
Again,
And what I
um,
find curious is as to with the replacement of this in our education system, the Pledge of Allegiance, the respect for authority or compliance with
saying
authority.
the words is useless if you don't understand them
Right,
and mean them.
right. I mean, we used to sing, American the Beautiful, this land is your land. I don't hear or see that enough.
Patriotism. Yep.
Correct. The the lack of cursive writing, amongst other things. What has that all been replaced by? Because we have done podcasts on how low the American education system is ranked compared to other
Mhm.
countries. So, what did all of this get replaced with? It's not like we have
Uh,
extra
woke
math
bullshit.
programs. Bullshit. Is
It
that what you
it
think?
was woke bullshit. Yeah.
Well, all right.
I don't know. Hold on. I gotta try and maneuver some things around because I had to turn my fan a little higher and I didn't want it coming through too much on you guys. But we can jump over to the next because
No,
this is
go ahead. What
basically
else is on there,
repeating.
Crazy B?
Well, it's basically repeating what we know about people out there and
Okay.
why he was there. I mean, stuff we've all talked about.
Okay.
Kirk's legacy. Um, I mean, and then Trump's message,
Okay.
which we cut. Well, we got a video of that too. So
Okay.
yeah, I think we can jump over to the next part of this by the
Okay.
looks of it.
Okay.
So this is where we get the release of Jackass's face.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI has released the images and announced $100,000 reward for the killer, for the asshole. Um, yep, they show him up there. Um, do you want to read or do we want to play the video
Go
where
ahead and play
it's
the video, Crazy B. Let's see what's there.
okay?
Fascist ideology. Meanwhile, President Trump says he plans to speak to Kirk's family this afternoon. Our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas has more on that. Pierre, what's the latest on this photo?
Diane, well, here's what we have and here's what we know. This picture is being put out by the FBI and law enforcement because they believe this is a person that they very much want to talk to. I'm told by sources it's from surveillance footage in and around the area where the shooting took place. And you can see this appears to be a male person wearing sunshades and a baseball cap. The FBI very much wants to talk to that person, and they're asking for the public's help in identifying this person so that they can get access to them and begin to interview them. Again, they want the public's help to identify this person so that they can talk to him. This person is being described to me as a person of interest, someone they very much want to talk to. And Diane, what you see unfolding, what you literally see unfolding, is what we were discussing yesterday, is that the surveillance footage was going to be the key to the case. That's what my law enforcement sources were telling me last night. They believed that when they canvassed the campus and the areas around the campus, that they would be getting images of the suspect moving about, or a person of interest moving about, I should say. In this case, this is someone that they think could have information about the attack, and they want to talk to this person.
Yeah, we heard authorities saying this morning that they had good video in their words, and now it looks like we're seeing some of those images come out. Aaron, what more are you hearing about this rifle that they say they think is the murder weapon, and then that ammunition?
It's a bolt-action rifle that was recovered, and there was a spent cartridge still in the chamber. There were also unspent cartridges, and when they looked at them, they discovered what law enforcement officials described as writing containing
I want to just point out how hard it is to engrave a bullet casing, especially if it's loaded. Now, if they engraved it and then reloaded it themselves, like, put the black powder and the new bullet in, type of melt down the lead, put it back in there, that might be a little bit easier than buying a box of bullets and engraving them, risking setting off the gunpowder inside.
Well, the issue that I have is they were able to find the J6ers very quickly using surveillance video. They got everybody and their mother, except for the one that left the bombs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They failed to do that, and now they can't identify this person. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's pretty much what they're doing. And yeah, how can they not? I don't know. At this point, I just don't know anymore. I don't believe a fucking thing that comes out of mainstream media or a politician's mouth.
Okay, so
I just can't.
before we
I
go
got
any
better things to do in my life.
before we go any further, Crazy B, will you pull up Art's comment about the trespassing, about the owner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, Art, just so you know, and you guys can go out and find her video. It's just from a couple days ago. There was no owner. They were on city property. So the people of the event obtained a permit to hold the farmers market. So
Mm-hmm.
they technically did not own the venue,
The layout.
the layout. And so she filed a $40 million lawsuit against them. I hope she takes them. I hope she gets to take them down, because this is ridiculous.
And if
And
she's not causing any harm,
she was not, no. And they actually
they should have just let it be.
Yeah, and they actually touched her and they put their hands on her to. Oh, it's just a crazy kind of video that you would think didn't occur. And so they had one guy from the venue just come up. He refused to give his name. He just said, "My name is event staff. It's here on my shirt." And it was just a ridiculous situation. They just didn't want her there. So they were doing everything they could to get rid of her.
And that kind of makes sense because, again, if, they, I mean, they're there trying to sell fruits and stuff, and she's there trying to do political interview type of thing.
Mhm.
The city would step in if enough people complained to a officer about it. Um, so I mean, there is always that.
But then we go First Amendment. So, you're on the street, free country, free whatever. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting case to follow. We'll see what comes out of it. But
Hmm.
so Art says there's always somebody in charge of the event. They are the people who can trespass you. Hmm. Well, we'll see what happens with the case. She won the previous one with Lakewood, so that's what she's banking is going to happen here in this case. But again, in what Crazy B just went over, I just don't explain to me why the J6ers were found, but
But they
he
can't
can't
get this
be.
guy. And it's the same FBI, basically. They have the same technology they had 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone? I'm just curious.
Uh, mm-hmm. That's uh-huh.
But yeah, dude, definitely. I believe in public execution with a slow dip into an acid bath. I believe that is a perfectly acceptable form of execution in cases like this, even though I know I'll probably get in trouble for it. I'm just going to say I'm all for it.
Well, the governor of Utah did come out saying that they would attempt to seek the death penalty.
Good.
I guess the death penalty is alive and well in Utah, and
Yay.
I hope that whoever is found and convicted with their due process is treated appropriately.
Of course, due process, and once they actually prove it's him, I believe in a
Mm-hmm.
slow acid bath.
Mm-hmm. There's also that skinning alive that also works
The
well.
cartels love to use that one.
Exactly. That's
They could just drop him on that island of cannibals off of the
oh yeah, I
India.
know. Yeah.
That island off of India that's all
Mhm.
cannibals and very angry tribe, I believe.
Mhm.
They might not be cannibals, but they're a very angry tribe that doesn't like outsiders. They could just airdrop him there.
Hmm.
Think that might be worth it.
There you go. Why don't you scroll down and see if everything was covered that we wanted covered on that crazy bee?
There was only 2 minutes and 33 seconds played out of the 7.5, but
Okay.
summing it up, it's still the offer of the $100,000 reward. Um, that is believed to be college age. Continues with officials work. They're continuing to work around the clock to locate the individual. Officials said during a press conference on Thursday morning. That was very early this morning, by the way. Um, the FBI also said Thursday it has recovered what is believed to be the weapon used in the deadly shooting, a high powered bolt action rifle. I saw some articles saying it might have been a Mauser 30 6.
Mhm.
If you know what what that is. My dad used them. My uncles used them. They are very good rifles, especially if you want to take out a postage stamp from the next county over. So much for the AR-15s. But it is still very deadly, and it is a very good gun for hunting, not hunting people, but like deer. If you want to get a deer from that's further out, it is a good gun to use. Just going to point that out. I have a rifle at home. It's not a high powered, it's just a good old fashioned Winchester 410, but it is great for home defense and hunting. So, you know, oh, there it is, the Mauser 30-aught caliber, which, yep, it was wrapped in a towel. Multiple law enforcement sources told ABC News the location of the firearm appears to match the suspect's route of travel, the sources said. The spent cartridge was still in. Oh, no, they did recover the gun. They
Yeah.
had to have, because the
Yeah.
spent cartridge was still in the chamber, and 3 unspent cartridges containing words on them expressing what some law enforcement officials described as transgender and anti-fascist. What did you just drop? I swear I heard something tumble. Oh my God. Hopefully it wasn't him. Um, According to the preliminary information shared with the agencies, it's unclear what that means to authorities. What that means, and authorities are still working to determine the meaning of whether the markings were intended as misdirection for investigators, which is something we discussed briefly
Right.
before we went live.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that that is very possible for
Was it
that
used
to have
to,
been a red herring.
yeah, was it a red herring? Was it used to throw the scent off?
Yeah, I doubt it, but you never know. Again, with the infighting of the Republicans who support Israel versus those who don't. And again, I have no skin in the game, to be honest, in that argument. I think both sides are taking it too far and are being ridiculous, and to quit fighting each other over it. Um, the firearm and ammunition have been taken to by the FBI for DNA analysis and fingerprint impressions, which anyone who's going to be doing something like this had better be smart enough to wear gloves. I'm not giving it. You know what? I'm going to shut up. I'm not giving advice. Never mind. Shut up. Um,
Well, they would, to do the engraving, they'd have to be wearing gloves at that point as well. I mean,
I've done engravings without gloves.
yeah, on your bullets.
Not on bullets, but other metal items. Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm just saying,
So
if you're going to be a criminal, make sure you have
then
your,
wear gloves. Well,
yeah,
we're
from
not
start
giving
to
advice to
finish.
criminals.
Yeah.
Stop. Shut me up. I can point out everything they do wrong. But hopefully they were stupid and left fingerprints and DNA
Well,
for the
they
cops
they
for the
did
FBI.
they did. They have a hand print, an arm print, and something else. I can't recall.
Okay.
But they do have three things that they are going by. So hopefully they'll get a match off of the bullets or off of the weapon.
Okay. They're saying that officials have been able to track the movements of the shooter and have good video footage of the individual. If it's good footage, why couldn't they
Exactly.
track? Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Utah Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason said on Thursday, oh my God, I am so sorry. I'm congested really bad right now. Um, the video footage will not be released to the public at this time. Um, at 11:52 a.m. on Wednesday, the suspect arrived at the campus and then proceeded to travel through the stairwell up to the roof of a building near a building near the where the really y'all didn't do a little spell check thing or a grammar check. near where the outdoor event was taking place before the suspect fired down on Kirk, Mason said. Oh, wow. That was an easy shot. If you look where the markers are, that he was
Mm-hmm.
right here to there, a decent scope would have been sufficient if
I'm
you know
telling
what you're
you,
doing.
it's reminiscent of Butler, Pennsylvania, and Trump.
It is
It really
almost
is.
identical.
Yeah.
This is, again, I'm looking at this angle.
And the
And
other,
if I was hunting deer, it would be a very good, clean, open shot.
right. The other thing is that I'm surprised is for the last several college tours he did, he was traveling with Riley Gaines. Well, first off, he was with his family, was in the audience.
Hmm.
But he had been traveling with Riley Gaines from the transgender movement
Hmm.
against women in sports. And I am
Against women, men and women's
men in
sports. I
sport.
know.
I'm sorry, men
I
and
just want to
women's
clarify for
sports.
anyone who might not get it.
Thank you, men and women's sports. And she has been extremely outspoken and has been traveling with him on college campuses to explain her rationale. And I'm telling you, by the grace of God, she wasn't there.
Hmm.
Because who knows what would have happened.
Who knows? It's hard to say, and that's
Yep.
with anyone.
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine what she's feeling. I mean, there's so many people that have been affected by this. Uh, you and I discussed earlier today. There are content creators that we know that do man on the street type things, that conduct various interviews, that are right and some left, some center,
Yep.
some that have been right out there, on the street in the throes of things that you just never know. I mean, and I don't want to live my life in fear where every time I go out I'm looking over my shoulder, and I miss what's in front of me or, whatever. But at the same time, I think we now have to be, I'm really tired of being the party of getting beat up. I
Yeah,
really am.
I absolutely agree with you. This has got to stop. This isn't fair. It's one sided. And it's been a political hit job. I mean, I saw a meme this morning. Democrats, um, when they don't get, it was a picture of Booth in Lincoln in 1865 ish,
Okay.
that era. And they're like Democrats every time they don't get their way. And it's true. It's been this way for how long?
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy is that Kennedy was a Democrat, JFK was a
Right.
Democrat, and yet he was still taken out because of his conservative values and wanting to take down many other things. And I don't care what the mainstream narrative was on that. There was a lot more to that than meets the eye, especially after so many decades.
Right.
There had to have been more than meets the eye. And I don't usually cater to some of the most ridiculous conspiracy theories, but that one I absolutely hold to. JJ, we understand for the listening and lurking part.
Yeah, we know
Um,
you're our resident lurker. We love you anyway.
and our, yeah, I get it. It takes time, but they sure were able to use that facial recognition to find the J6ers in their hats with their COVID masks on.
Uh-huh.
And
That's what
that's why I struggle with this one. Yes, he's got glasses and a hat, but they've
still
got facial recognition that works so much better than it can pretty much
do anything.
formulate what you
Uh-huh.
look like. And that kind of bothers me. And again, I know it's not something that happens overnight. I absolutely understand forensic science can take months or years to get results. They're still solving murders from all the way back into the early 1900s. We're talking the 1920s. They finally are solving murders using familial DNA to at least narrow down where to look in the families to find a missing person, and finally reunite or bring some closure to the family. So, oh, I'm all for being patient, and time will finally solve the problems. But it's just one of those things that they were quick to find the J6ers, in my opinion,
Yeah, that's
and that makes
yeah.
you wonder how much was being ran while they were there. If you think about it, well, those people are there standing around doing their little protest before it turned violent. They could have been using footage to start identifying people.
Hmm.
They could have started that process that day.
The other thing that
So,
is
yeah.
somewhat disturbing, I did not include it here, but there were two young men. I'm assuming they were college age. They sounded young, but two men identified that there was a shooter on the roof, and they did nothing. They didn't report it or anything. They just recorded it and went about their
Oh, the
business.
guy on the roof instead
Uh-huh,
of,
but
yeah.
posted that there was a guy on the roof, but did not bring it to anybody's attention.
But again, I mean,
You
I
know,
know
come
the
on now.
footage from the cell phone was
They
grainy.
no, it was not. It was shown. It was very clear, and they used their finger to point from how he went from place
I
to place
haven't
to
seen that
place.
one.
Oh, I'll see if I have it still.
I'll
Uh,
watch it later, but yeah.
okay, yeah. It was extremely, again, there was a case of why didn't somebody escalate it to the next level? You know, sometimes it's better to be safe than sorry. You know, doesn't it seem odd that somebody's jumping from roof to roof, you know, dressed in black and then gets up to the very edge of the roof and is laying down? I mean, come on. I don't
I
know.
want to say thank you to for the follow from AZ76. Thank you very much.
Hi,
Over
nice
on
to meet
Rumble.
you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I've just about had it with the way, again, a lot of this, it seems like it works fast when they want to. Um, Art says, do you want me to do that with iron sights or do I get a scope? That's my warm up distance. Then you've got great eyesight. I would have needed a scope. And I know I had talked with Dee about this earlier. I do think they were aiming for the head, but calculated the bullet drop from gravity and the trajectory over time. They weren't that great with their trigonometry stuff. But I mean, that's why I think it ended up hitting the neck. But I don't think, because the neck is so hard to hit in general on a person. If you're aiming, it's not the go to spot. I mean, unless they had a really good high powered scope to see the neck, I think they were aiming higher and they just miscalculated the bullet drop over time. So,
Well, thank
um,
goodness. I mean, despite the negativity, thank goodness that occurred because I think there would be way more people traumatized by a shot to the head
yeah,
than
like what happened with Kennedy.
uh-huh. Yep. It would have been unbelievable. I think they estimated approximately 2,000 people were in the crowd.
Wow.
Mhm.
And again, anyone up front had again, I've seen the footage from the people who were very close up.
Right.
And I do not suggest watching it, especially if you can't handle it.
Mhm.
Um, I still struggle. I didn't sleep well last night. I didn't. I'll be honest. I did not sleep well. And I can live with that because I don't have young kids and I don't have a job. So I'll tolerate living with it. But it did bug me. And I only got 3 hours of sleep last night, and I spent the rest of the night doing more research. Um, but yeah, it does bother me. And I don't think it's okay for the standard public, which is why we refuse to show it. Um, just absolutely refuse. So, but yeah, fundamentally, that's again, for me, that's not a standard shot. It's a good shot, but I would still need a scope for me. But I also have bad eyesight, so there's that. Um, hold on. Art says it's just too easy to do this in an outdoor venue. His security isn't the Secret Service, and they don't have the ability to secure everything for a mile around. Exactly. I know Tim Pool just canceled all of his events for the
Mm-hmm.
rest of the year, and I think even into next year. He has canceled quite a few of his speaking
Yeah,
engagements.
it gives all of them room to pause now. You know, Candace
But
Owens,
they can
Tim
still get their
Pool,
message out.
yeah, Megan Kelly, uh, any any any. I think anybody at this point on the right, any of the news uh, people from Fox that go out and speak publicly. This gives this gives us all, and we just read the articles about Osama bin Laden and how social media creates fear and the misinformation, disinformation, whatever you want to call it. So right now, everybody's on this heightened sense of
Hold on. Vanilla Pie says that there's a video supposedly of someone giving a hand gesture right before the shot. If you can find that clip, send it to me. I'll check to see if it's AI, and I will do my best to edit it up. Worst case scenario, just to that segment of the hand movement. I would like to see it and maybe I'd like to see that, and I'll look at it and see what I think. And
yeah,
we'll,
I would
if it's
think
a
that
decent one, I can share it. Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
I would think that they would have we'd have a hit on that uh
That's
that
where I'm
they
not sure if the
yeah,
mainstream will even
if it's
cover that.
AI or whatever, yeah.
That's why I would like to get my hands on that video, drop it in
He's
Discord.
he put it in the Discord, Crazy B.
Okay, thank you. I'll take a look at that when we're done.
Art says if I'm security for a public figure, I'd be recommending canceling any outdoor appearances and rethinking any indoor appearances to have better security. Yep.
I don't blame these
100.
people.
Yep.
It sucks that they now have to live in fear the same thing could happen to them.
Right.
It sucks that we can't have freedom of speech by the people who claim they're so oppressed.
And like I said, this has been going on way too long.
Well, since the 1800s at least.
All right. And we don't want to debate that issue right now. We want to try to get through the information we
Yeah,
have. We can
yes.
talk about
So
that
let's jump to the
ways.
next one. I think this one is going to basically be covering the same thing. Let's double check.
Okay.
Um, no, there was something different
No.
in this one you said.
Yeah, this was yeah, just scroll down. This was the FBI released the person of interest. Keep scrolling up, Crazy B, up, down, all around. I don't remember. Okay, so we covered that he had the transgender issues. Okay, so this is where they said they had recovered, back down a little bit or up, whichever way. Yeah, they recovered a shoe. That's what it was, a shoe, a palm, and arm imprints. I just want to know, how the hell do you lose your freaking shoe?
No, oh, they did. I no, it's a
Yeah,
shoe imprint.
no,
It's not the
they
shoe
got the
itself. It's the
shoe.
shoe imprint.
Yeah, they have the shoe. How do you leave your shoe?
No, I think they
Mass
mean that it was because it says he didn't leave his palm behind. So it was shoe, palm, and
arm prints.
imprints.
Okay.
And the shoe was an imprint as well, like the tread
Okay.
imprinted on the tarry roof. You know how
Shoe,
some of those
palm,
roofs
and
are
arm
tarry?
imprints. Okay, I read that
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. I don't think it was a shoe itself. I think they mean the shoe imprint.
Okay.
Because I could tell you, walking on a hot roof barefoot, uh uh,
Well, I thought
that
maybe
shit
when they
don't
were
happen.
running, that's kind of how I took that. Go ahead.
Oh no, I think it's just the imprint from the shoe is up on that
Shoe.
roof. If it's a
Okay.
tar based roof, or it has that tar coating on it, yeah, that would totally happen. Um,
So,
was there?
yeah, the Wall Street cited, we had that. Yeah, they thought that the suspect is college age and blended in with those attending the event. So just
Yeah,
take a look at this next picture, and that shows you how close that
some people were.
yes, that he permitted the crowd to be towards him. And I mean, if you've ever watched any, whether you agreed or disagreed with him is not the point right now, but this
Should never
goes
have
for,
been the point.
yeah, this goes for anybody. He had really no breathing room. And you can see he has the one guy in the back there, and there's one in the front, two in the front, I think. The guys in the sunglasses. I don't know if they would have the ability to hold back a crowd if something were to actually break out and happen, if they were to rush him. He had no breathing room whatsoever, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, I told you I worked police, special events, and public works, being one that put these types of functions on, where there were always jersey barriers or some type of barricade that people couldn't you know get onto a particular area or whatever. I mean, it just is. It's just a little disturbing.
well, to me, again, I know I sound crazy, but it's a perfect setup
Oh
for
yeah.
this situation.
Mm-hmm.
This was literally, unfortunately, a perfect setup. And I don't know if it was intentional or not. And I'm
Well,
not going
there's
to
yeah, there
speculate much
is.
on that.
Yeah, I don't know if we have it in today's or not, but there is speculation. I do believe it is in there. I do think I have it in there, Crazy B, that,
Oh, I know that,
yeah,
again, a lot of
professional.
people were
Yeah,
saying this was a professional hit
right.
job, some stuff like that. But again, with that kind of rifle, and again, my family uses those for hunting, and some even that exact model, that it's a very good gun for hunting. And a good hunter could easily make that shot and not be a paid hitman. So I would like to know more about the suspect's history on this stuff because, yeah, like, oh, Art just said, if the roof is hot enough, it will melt the shoe imprint into the roof covering, no matter what it is. Ask me how I know. And like I said, I've done roofing before with my dad. I've put tar out, I've done shingles. I know this myself as well. And this is in Utah. Guess what? It's hot there. That sun baking on that just until what was it in the afternoon, right around noon that time, mountain time. Yeah, that's gonna be baking, and I can see how it would leave the imprints, and I don't know how he tolerated laying on that fucking hot roof. I really wonder how he tolerated hot, tarry roof. Because on a building like that, it's mostly tar. They don't do shingles on those buildings, so, um, but again, I don't wanna jump to the conclusion of it being a hit job because, like I said, a decent hunter and, Dee, I don't know about your family, I know you've mentioned before they do some hunting. I'm pretty sure they would agree that you wouldn't have to be an expert sniper to take that shot.
No, but let's. We'll find out why they think that that was the case, though.
Yeah, that's later.
Hmm.
So let's see what's up next. Oh, this is just another repeat of the feds. Do we want to cover this or just leave it in the
Yeah, we'll leave
um
it in the description.
yeah, we've got 10 minutes left. We can watch Trump's topic on it. Trump's
That was
speech.
is that what we have? Is that what's next?
Yes, that would be
Okay.
next after the FBI, the extra FBI one.
Okay.
So, all right, let me expand that. Share this tab instead, and we're going to hit play. Oh, I'll leave the closed captions for anyone who's hard of hearing.
To my great fellow Americans, I
If
am
there's any.
filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever.
I
To share
agree.
his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and three others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
I agree with everything he said. I really do.
Crazy Bee.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Great. Now I can.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
Got kicked out twice and couldn't hear anything.
Oh, wow, I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh,
So Chrome isn't the answer then. Maybe it's the video. I don't know. Anyway, so a couple things about Trump's statement. Number one, I didn't know this, but Charlie Kirk had worked for Don Jr. as his personal assistant, and
yep,
he was extremely close with his granddaughter Kai, and so the Trump family is extremely close with uh, Charlie Kirk and his wife and children. So
yep.
I think they're suffering a huge blow. Uh, that this is just unbelievable.
It is. It is mind boggling. And
Hmm.
again, I have a feeling Trump is far more angry than he is letting on.
Well, I've seen reports saying that what Trump had to say here, there are
Hmm.
headlines from the mainstream media saying Trump was enraged, outraged in his statement that he put on. And I think he
Yeah.
was rather self controlled myself.
But I'm sure behind the scenes, it was a whole different ball game.
I'm not so sure. Was he even angry?
I think so. I think so. I think he's very angry
Crazy
and
bee?
heartbroken. Oh, can you hear me?
Well, why not?
Oh, we're almost done and it decides to act up. So sorry, folks. One thing at a time, right? We'll get through this. Just be patient while she comes back. It's funny how it waits till the end of the podcast.
Jeez.
The rest of the podcast was going great. And now it does this.
All right. Did you hear the last part? Could you hear me at all?
Where you were saying about was he even angry?
Yeah.
I believe he was very angry, very hurt. Just, the typical.
Yeah. I think it could have been worse. I think he could have really gone off. And I'm telling you what, the Republican Party needs to get their act together. They really do.
Hmm. I think so. I
And
absolutely
I'm,
agree with you
and
on
I'm
that.
not talking about violence, and we'll discuss that later, but we've been talking about it since we started this podcast in March that they really need to get their act together, and they're not. And later this evening from 7 to 9, we will be live again, continuing our special on Charlie Kirk. And there will be some other videos that are played that it truly is mind boggling of the leadership that we have in this country.
Yeah, we have the response of many politicians, couple
Hmm.
of the opposing side content creators. We're going to be covering quite a decent amount of things today.
Right. So it's just not about the right. We have the right and the left. And the comments that are made, we have the inappropriate. And I'll tell you what, I would be happy to bitch slap every single one of the TikTok people that had the comments to make that they did.
Yeah.
I mean, where, just where? They'd be the first ones to whine and cry if it was one of their loved ones that were uh, killed in any type of violent situation. It'd be, oh, poor me. I mean, it is truly just unbelievable.
It's absolute BS is what this really boils down to. My personal opinion, this should have never happened. I don't care whether you agree or disagree. This level of violence is never, ever the solution. And I can't say it enough. I don't think I could ever say it enough.
So, with that being said, we are at the 4:59 mark. We appreciate everybody being with us and commenting. Please don't forget to like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe. And we hope that you can join us later on this evening from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we continue our special on Charlie Kirk. And with that being said, I am done for this afternoon, Crazy Bee.
I had to take my meds, but I am as well for right now. I did put up the little hidden image thing. So if you guys do spot it, go for it. Drop it in the comments. And you know, we're going to be back in a few hours, so I'm not going to bother with my usual outro. We'll cover that when we go live tonight. So we'll see y'all in a few hours. Get some food, get some break. Um, those making of inappropriate comments are just keyboard warriors who never say the same thing to your face. Try not to let it bother you. That's what they want. I
Exactly.
agree.
We know that. It still doesn't make it any easier, Art.
It's why I haven't been on
Yeah,
TikTok or X or quite a few other platforms. I have chosen to distance myself because I don't want to trust myself on this one.
yeah.
So, all right, folks, we're going to
Well,
head out. We'll catch y'all in a little
have a
bit.
good dinner.
See you guys soon.